Hello, friends of the Run Disney community and the Disney community, or any part of this community. Welcome to another Monday night stream. We're so happy to have you here. Today, I have two very, very special guests that are joining me tonight to talk about this topic of Run Disney. So if you are catching the replay, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And to my right on stream, to my left that I'm pointing to, is Kristen from Running and Makeup. Kristen is a Run Disney guru, Run Disney expert. Her channel is, actually, I'm going to let you explain your channel just very briefly before we begin.
So hi, thanks for having me. I'm Kristen. I run the channel Running and Makeup, which is just what it says. It's me running and I wear makeup. No, I started it honestly a couple years ago to document my training and getting ready for the Goofy Challenge, which included the full marathon in 2020. I did it as an accountability thing because I figured, okay, if there's 5 people waiting for a video to come out of me training, then I should probably train. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I've gotten to meet a lot of really amazing Disney community people. And it's like this little community, which I know, Meg, you're a part of. Thank you. And it's been so much fun. And I've gotten to learn a lot about not streaming. I'm learning a lot about streaming presently.
Do an amazing job.
Thank you. I'm a little nervous, but I'm sweating. That's okay. No, but about filming and editing, and I've learned that I love to do that. And I love to run at Disney, which thankfully a lot of you do too. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Kristen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait to hear all about your expertise on this Run Disney journey. And then we actually have someone that's brand new to the Disney community, Paging Mr. Morrow. He just started his channel. So Nate, do you want to tell everyone about your channel?
It's very small. You should
very small, very new.
Yeah, well, I'm Nate. I got Paging Mr. Morrow, and I just started doing Run Disney, and I feel like I've joined a great live stream with 2 experts. So it's really fun to learn and actually talk about it with you guys. So I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Yay.
We're very excited. And I think part of the reason why I've done smaller Run Disney streams before, but I wanted to come back to this because a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions, especially after this in-person race that we had, which was the first one in a really long time. And so
over 600 days. I think it was like 621, I believe it was. It was a
long time. And so that was actually my first in-person race back after COVID. And so I think there's a lot of questions also concerning that too, which we can definitely address. So a lot of people are actually very new to the Run Disney community. And so I wanted to be able to answer questions or kind of do a Q&A kind of thing with the chat so that if people had any questions, that they can ask. But I also wanted to bring in Nate's first race was just in this month in November. And so I wanted to bring in Kristen, who has done several Run Disney races, and also Nate to show different perspectives of Run Disney and the community, because I think we could all
first time.
Welcome. We love and accept all people.
Yes, you did an amazing job. And to that point, Run Disney is so beginner friendly. If you guys are new to running, and I'm going to put that in air quotes because I don't run the entire race. You could actually walk fairly quickly for the races if you want to.
There's a thing called that I like to say that I've coined the term, but mall walking. When I was in high school, I worked in a mall, and in the mornings, the older people would be in there like doing this, and they'd be in their windsuit pants. And so on my channel, a lot of times you'll hear myself and my running buddy Teresa be like, "All right, hips and elbows, make those windsuit pants go swish, swish." Like you could mall walk all Disney races and have an amazing time. Yeah.
So we will definitely get, Run Disney, Galloway method. That's my jam. That's what I do.
Yes.
Run, walk, run.
Yes.
So we can definitely discuss that as well as touch upon the expo and some of the other races that are throughout the year. But before we get to that, I know we have some friends in the chat, but before we hit the chat up and say hi. I do have my dad jokes for the evening. If you guys are new to my stream, we do dad jokes every Monday night. So I hope you enjoy them from this week. And I'm going to go ahead and start. Hey, Nate, what does a painter do when he gets cold?
I don't know. He shivers. I don't know.
Puts on another coat.
Oh, dang it!
But,
Dang it! Oh, that
Was that
good.
right? Was that right?
That was right.
Yes.
Oh my lord!
We went for Kristen. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Dogs can. Wait, do you want to hear a really fun fact? Oh, wait, hold on. I still have this.
Fun facts with Nate. Boom! Fun facts
So, guys,
with
this
Nate.
is an actual fun fact with Nate. Dogs cannot operate MRI machines, but CAT scan.
Oh, I like that one.
That was a fun fact with Nate.
Fun fact. Fun fact.
I work in the medical field, so I 100% appreciate that.
But a cat.
It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Another fun fact. Hold on, I gotta put it back on. If you do get attacked by a mob of clowns, go for the juggler.
Nice.
Uh,
I have a dad joke. Okay. I'll say
okay.
my
Oh,
dad
this
joke.
is another fun fact then.
Oh, another fun fact. Well, I don't know if it's a fun fact. All right, but what is Forrest Gump's password? Run, Forrest, run. One, Forrest, one.
One.
Like it's got to be something with that.
One, Forrest, one.
Oh, we
Yes.
got one from the chat. How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.
Eclipse it.
Okay. I feel like this one is slightly inappropriate, so please don't repeat this if you don't like it. How do you determine the sex of a cell?
Oh.
You pull down its genes, as in GENES. How do you stop a bull from charging?
Take away its credit card.
I was gonna say that.
Have you heard these before?
No, I just
No.
thought I thought about it. I that was a good one. Nice.
Okay.
That was really good.
What did the blanket say to the bed? It's like, especially if you're having a bad day, the blanket's having, or the bed's having a bad day.
Something about a comforter? No.
I got you covered.
Oh, that too. That
I was
too.
trying to think like, why don't you lay down? I don't know what that would have meant.
But when
Yes.
life gets you down, when life gets you down, make a comforter.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, the final one that I have for this evening. My son wants a porcupine without quills as a house pet, right? That doesn't make any sense. So I said, that's completely pointless. I just, doesn't make any sense. Because it doesn't
Pointless.
yes. So no more fun facts with Nate. And that was it for our dad jokes for this evening.
Yay. Actually, I have one, but it can't.
Dad jokes.
So growing up, I grew up in the Dallas area, and Dallas Cowboys. Okay. They had their heyday in the 90s, you know. Okay. So when I die, I want the Cowboys to be my pallbearers so they can let me down one last time.
Let me down one last time. That's a good one, though.
Because so you could like insert any football team that you used to like and now are not any good, you know. So
Mhm.
Oh yes.
That's like any
I'll
team,
see
I
myself
feel.
out. Thank you.
I'll see myself.
That's only
a
that's only
proper
if you're a
dad joke.
fish. But okay, that's all of our jokes for the evening because we do have some important things to discuss. But I want to say I know I'm far behind in the chat, but I'm going to do my best. So Jay Snudo, Justin, Tim Rumpel, Christine Hickman, Mr. the Crab only comes in for the dad jokes, but he loves them. Sean, Snag and Whiskers, hello. Joy S, thanks for being here. Jeanette, Sebastian the Crab, Jersey Mike, the Turk, hello. Tina Marie's Place, hi Tina, Movie Media Nick, Heather the Disney Housewife, Nathan Rada, hello. Pixie Dust Run, thanks for being here. Karki Carol, hello. Peyton, hi. Dad Builds, hello. Sorry for using your line, Nate. He says, hello, friends. Hey,
Hello,
friends. Hey, friends. Karina, welcome. Diz Our Dream, Jeff and Ange, they also did the races in November as well. I feel like it's already December, so I'm going to just keep referring to it as November. Theen Amazing, hello. Welcome. Phantasmic Chronicles, thanks for being here. Debbie, welcome. Kyle Lee, AGC Magic TV, Amy, thanks for being here. Justin has a question for Kristen. I usually don't wear makeup, but if I was, what makeup should I run in?
Well, that's a good question.
You have come to the right place.
Yeah.
I actually have gotten this a lot over on my Instagram, which my Instagram handle is the same as my YouTube channel, Running in Makeup. And I've gotten it so much that I'm like, you know what? It's time to do an updated video. I have a video up from like 2 years ago where I showed my routine and whatnot, and I don't use any of those products anymore. So I say all that to say, don't go watch that one.
Don't go watch that one.
I'm due for an update. So
that's actually a really good question, though, because there's a lot of us that do wear makeup while running, but especially for Run Disney races where people go all out in costumes. So I think that's really important. My chat just skipped, so I'm going to try and catch up just a little bit. Donna Jaworski, guys, Donna had the most amazing stream yesterday doing her bake-off for the Give Kids the World fundraiser. So if you want to check that out, Donna has a fundraising link to help support Give Kids the World, which is the Make-A-Wish kids who go to Give Kids the World, and they get to experience Disney and Universal and SeaWorld and all the amazing things in Central Florida. So please, please, please go check that out. I'm geeking out with Mally Mel. Hello, Jersey Mike. Flippers Pool. Hi, Flipper. Stacy Rogers. Nashville. Ryan B. Hello. Ardons. Hi, Ardons. Karen Cook. Dad Builds. I said that earlier. Hi, Dad Builds. Chris. Disney Nerd 30. Running with Shin Splints. Kristen's running buddy here. Hello.
Hi, Teresa.
I love it. We got the support here. Neville Land, hello. AAA Sparkles, Anitra, hello. Oh, thank you so much, Jeanette, for posting that. That is the link to Dinners with Donna's fundraising link for Give Kids the World. Please go check that out. If I've missed you in the chat, I'm sorry. Please tag me. There's a lot of people here. Van Burgers, hello, welcome. Captain Akron, thanks for being here. Wendy B, thank you guys. Oh, thank you. Hey, Nate, they're saying that our hats are fedorable today.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yep. Yes. I think we're rocking it. We're rocking the hats.
We are. Tina, welcome. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into our Run Disney talk. Hi, Emily. So Kristen, I'm going to start with you. You kind of briefly touched upon it, but how did your Run Disney journey start?
Oh, well, gather around, children. It's story time.
Gather round, gather round.
Gather. No, it was back in, it was early 2018. And one of my sorority sisters on Facebook had posted that she had just come back I was going to in February, Princess. And I had really no idea that you could run at Disney and A, get a medal for it, and B, not get in trouble for doing it, you know? And so I was like, say what? And so she was telling me about it. I was like, well, that sounds like a lot of fun, except I had just picked up running, like just picked it up. And I knew I wasn't ready for any of those distances. So I set it as a goal to maybe try and do it Princess of 19. So I started training, started doing the Galloway run, walk, run. I was sitting at work one day at the nurses station, one of them, and Teresa was there, and she and I had really just met. It had not been that long. And I was like, hey, did you know that you could run at Disney World and there's a race and it's themed after princesses? And that sounds really cool, huh? And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, I think I'm going to do it. Do you want to do it with me? She's like, okay. And the rest is history. So we trained and did our first race. My first Run Disney race was Princess of 2019. And that was just phenomenal. I had so much fun. I did the challenge, which for the fairy tale challenge, that's the 10K on Saturday, and then you run the half marathon on Sunday. And I was sick as a dog during that half marathon. I actually had pneumonia and didn't know it at the time, but did that half marathon with pneumonia. So I'm very proud of that medal. But then fast forward, and we trained and did the Goofy Challenge marathon weekend of 2020, which the Goofy Challenge, for those of you who don't know, you run the half marathon, which is 13.1 miles on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you run the full marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So that was my first marathon, was there at Disney. And then we came home and went right back February of 20 for Princess, and then the world fell apart. So then it was all gone. But then thankfully back for Wine and Dine and running with my favorite people in my favorite place.
That's an amazing story. And I love that you highlighted some of those races too. And I want to touch upon some of those challenges that you talked about too. But I see a question from Heather. I had a question. I wanted to do a race, but I wanted to be able to push Michaela's wheelchair. Do you ever see any parents doing that? I know that there is the like the disability like chair section. I'm not sure if you know the answer to this, Kristen. I know that they go before the rest of the runners. I've seen other people with like service animals that run with them. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, though.
It would all depend on if, and I don't know your situation, but a lot of times there are, parents who push their kiddos that have disabilities. I have footage, like if you're a crier, you're going to cry during this one, but we were waiting in line for Princess, at Princess. Nate's like, I'm already crying.
Yeah, I'm already crying.
We were waiting in line for Cinderella and Prince Charming during Princess of 2020. And this dad was pushing his daughter in the wheelchair, and Cinderella and Prince Charming were just amazing with her. So it is possible. I think you need to reach out to runDisney to get all the specifics about that. That's always your safest bet if you have questions regarding that type of thing, is just to reach out to runDisney, and you can get their email and contact on the website, runDisney.com.
That's a good answer. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I was like, wow.
Good answer. Good. It's like we're on Family Feud. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Survey
says
number one answer right there. So I wrote down a few things that you were saying so that we can return back to it. I heard you say, or someone in the chat had mentioned the Galloway method, and we briefly talked about that. But I want to.
We met him.
We did meet Jeff Galloway.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch upon that briefly because I feel like that's a really good training method. It's also free to see on the runDisney website. And then you also talked about the challenges, which I want to touch upon too. She got to the race in Speed for Need and loved it. That's so awesome, Heather. Congratulations to Michaela and you both. Also, hi, Yadi, welcome. So now that we heard a little bit about Kristen's background and her journey to runDisney, Nate, do you want to tell a little bit in your experience of how you started your runDisney journey?
Well, it's just recently. Well, I've never actually, did any runDisney or anything like that, but I always said I wanted to do the Wine and Dine runDisney, and I was like, oh, I want to do it, but I was so afraid. I was like, I wonder if I can't do it. I think a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are definitely afraid, and you know how I was. I was panicking even when I said I was going to do it.
We kept texting back and forth, and I'm like, don't even worry about it. Like, no one's going to come and get us.
I was panicking, but when I finally said, you know what, I'm going to do it, I reached out to you because you were, I constantly, and we've always been friends, and I'm just like, oh, Meg knows. Meg's going to get me in the right state of mind. And he did. And we ran it together. And I was so happy that I did it. And first timer. And now I'm like, wow, I really can't wait to do the next one. Like, honestly,
it's like super
I'm really
addicting,
excited.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super addicting. But I hyped myself up way too much than I needed to. I caused so much anxiety for no reason. Even you were like, don't stress out. And I'm like, no. But
it's
now
so
I'm just
hard.
like, wow, why did I do that?
It's so hard to tell other people, like, chill out. It's like telling someone to, like, stop being anxious about something. It just doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
But I think once you live through the experience and once you get there, your anxiety just sort of like dissipates because you're around people. I know Kristen could attest to this too. You're around so many people that are so happy to be up at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes.
No, it was so awesome.
How
about the beer drinking? Like, they had the beer tent out there, and there were people like that. I was like, wow. I'm like, this is it,
Yeah, totally.
runDisney's lit.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
It is.
I'm like, this is.
It's people who don't go to sleep until like then the next day.
I didn't go to sleep. I was so nervous that night, and like I said, but getting nervous and like having like that fear and stuff without knowing, it was great because it gave me a lot of drive to I guess, run faster and harder and actually, you know what I mean? So like it was good, you know what I mean? So I'm happy that I was anxious, but now that I'm not, I'm just going to be anxious for a whole new adventure when I start doing more races.
You're going to be more anxious for registration day. That's a
Oh
whole
yeah,
different
I
type of
feel like that's how
anxiety.
it is.
Yeah.
I
100%.
keep on popping in looking for the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. I keep on going in, and the same with the Princess. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm like, if I miss the springtime surprise, I'm like, I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
it's
looking
amazing.
constantly.
But
Yeah.
Nate, we had a few people in the chat. Kyle said, "You inspired me to start training for a run, Nate." A lot of people were saying they were really proud of you too. So that's so kind of everyone for saying. I guess Russ said, "Why are we talking about having the runs at Disney? Sometimes the chili dogs at Casey's can have a negative effect." I suppose. I have never had Casey's, so I don't know, but that's definitely very interesting. So with all the stops to see the characters, does it feel like you are running a race? That's actually a really good question.
That's a very good question. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll do Justin's after that too, but what do you think, Kristen? Do you feel like you're still running a race?
Yes. And here's why. You will never, my half marathon video, just shameless plug, just posted
No,
on
plug everything.
when did I post that? On Friday. And I made it a point to get all character stops filmed. And if you go look, a lot of those character stops, and this is not only true for just Wine and Dine, but really any of the races, they tend to pull all the rare characters that you don't really get to see ever. And so it's almost like you're playing almost like a tag you're it with the next character, because it's like you make it to one and you're like, okay, then I know there's at least another one a mile to a mile and a half up the road. Let's go. And it's good to space out the race too, because I know for the marathon, Meg, you can probably attest to this too. The marathon a lot of times is a mind game. And so by knowing that, okay, I've got this one character or this park, for example, because you do run through the parks through Run Disney, you're running it through, through Magic Kingdom, up Main Street, through the castle. If you piece it out like that, then it's not so much this giant 26.2 or 13.1 race. It's little spurts between your next stop. And one thing that I will tell you is, do not go to Disney. Do not pay that money for Run Disney to go try to PR, meaning that you get your personal best. If you PR, I want you PRing in fun. I don't want you PRing in time. Get your money's worth on that course. People that run those races that finish, the half marathon in an hour 30, like you just spent a lot of money to be a blur and not stop for any characters and do all that stuff. So to answer that question, it's a race in that you're racing to each character. Which is how I choose to look at it. I mean, where else are you going to see like bowler hat guy and the Meet the Robinsons cast and Frollo was out for the 5K.
Frollo was out there, Meg.
No, thank you.
He looked very creepy.
I know we talked about this
creepy.
before. We were like, he's icky. Nate was like, should we go? I'm like, no, I don't like him.
He was one of the only ones that I did stop for the 5K.
Really?
And even like in the picture, he's like this. And I'm like, yeah, you're real scary.
Oh, Debbie says, with all your talking about the marathons, you were my inspiration to start walking and running my own marathons. You guys are so nice. Stop it. And I'm just going to add slightly to Kristen's answer, which was fabulous. I want to briefly talk about my history very quickly about Run Disney. A lot of you guys know that I also have a chronic illness, so I never thought that I'd be able to run any sort of distance. So I've talked about it on my streams before, but I never thought that I could do a half marathon, let alone a full marathon. And so I just had this like epiphany, and I won't get too far into it, but I like on a whim signed up for the Dopey Challenge, which is the 5K, the 10K, the half, and the full marathon without running any sort of distance. And so then in preparation for that, I did do a half marathon before, like a local half marathon. And then I did my Dopey challenge and I was absolutely hooked on running. And so I had signed up to do the Wine and Dine in person in 2020 with my mom based on Nate's recommendation of doing the after party because Nate said so much about this amazing after party. Like, we gotta go.
That's why one of the reasons I was like, I always wanted to do the Wine and Dine, because I always wanted to be able to see all the characters and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So we had done that to sign up, and then the race got
Canceled.
virtualized. it
got
virtual.
canceled.
Yeah, it got canceled, and I decided that I wasn't going to do the virtual. Which I ended up doing anyway with my running group, the Fairy God Runners, and I just didn't get medals for it. But I had signed up to do the challenge. I did complete the challenge, and then this year I was like, it's going to be my goal to do all virtual races. So I did literally every Run Disney race this year, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm still very new to the running world. I haven't been running for that long, so just know that. Like me and Kristen, who trained to do a full marathon, but like, you can do anything. I don't want anyone to feel limited in their body or like with their experience, because you can totally work up to doing what's comfortable for you.
Yes.
And so based on that, I want to say, even though you're in Disney, you're still running a race. Mm-hmm. You have to be prepared. You have to train. And I think that's a big mistake that people make, is that they don't train because they think that they're just going to have fun and meet all these characters, but you're still doing either like a 5K, a 10K, a half, a full marathon. Like, you're still doing the distance. It's a lot more fun and entertaining than just like running in your neighborhood. Right. But yes, dreams do come true. And I have to say, graduating college and finishing my first marathon, my Dopey challenge, are like two things that I am most proud of in my life. My brother did the Walt Disney World full marathon in like 2014, I think, but he just like started running out of nowhere and then just like stopped running. So it was like very short lived. He did like several half marathons and then a full marathon, and he's like, okay, I'm done now. So I guess it's something that we just in my family like to randomly do. Nate, did you carbo load on fettuccine Alfredo like Michael Scott?
Oh, get out! Somebody
joked about that though.
I know. Yeah, we did. I was like, oh, that's all I was thinking about, and also taping up my nips. No,
yeah. Like Andy.
Andy did, yeah.
It was rainy that morning, so that probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
raining and cold.
With Florida weather, you never know what it's going to be like. Kristen, you remember that marathon?
Yes, I do. And that's the thing. So for those of you who don't know, the marathon of 20 was it the hottest or one of the hottest on record? At that point, there had been like 26 marathons at that Walt Disney World marathons. I live in Texas. It's hot here. And I trained in that, but even me who's used to that I was dying at mile 20 and then just had to walk from mile 20 to the finish line. So a 10K at a 6.2 from there. But
it was 90 degrees that day.
So that's like a big thing I'm afraid of, is what you're talking about right now. So
one thing that I learned though is salt is your friend.
It is.
Because you're sweating out so much sodium that if you don't replenish it, then you cramp. And so my parents had surprised me. They had flown in. I did not know they were going to be there. That's also in a video. Where for the half marathon, so our big thing, you joke that you've never been to Casey's or you've never eaten at Casey's. Yes. Well, Casey's is like our sentimental place. I remember as a kid, like being like, okay, if we ever get separated, this is long before cell phones, because I'm, a lot of years old, but so we ever got separated, it was like, okay, meet at Casey's. That's where, like, if you get separated, let's go to Casey's. So when they weren't gonna be able to be there for my first marathon, they were like, just get a selfie in front of Casey's, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm running up Main Street in Magic Kingdom, and lo and behold, there are my parents standing there in front of Casey's, and I had no idea that they're going to be there. So, so fast forward to the next day, and Magic Kingdom was what, mile 10.
Mile 10, coming into mile 10.
Yes, and I had already gone through all of my hydration, like all of my I use Scratch, so all of my Scratch mixed stuff.
Mhm.
And I told my mom, I was like, "Is Casey's open?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "Go inside and grab a handful of salt packets." And like those little salt packets that you like rip open and like sprinkle on your French fries.
Yep.
I was like, "Just grab a handful." So got a handful of those, put those in my pouch, and just every mile or so, I would just down a couple of those packets. So
Wow.
that's the big thing is you have to replenish that sodium that you're losing, or you will be laid up on the side of the road like we saw a lot of people,
It
especially
was really
coming
scary.
to Hollywood Studios. It was terrifying. It was
Yeah.
terrifying.
I
But you should
felt
do it. It's really fun.
well, people do it because you get to get like margaritas at the finish line.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but I have to say, like being there and being a part of it and seeing people laying on the ground and like
Yeah.
all the medics like all around the course on bikes, getting people, it was really scary. But sort of making a full circle back to that point of you have to be prepared going
Yeah.
into these races,
Yeah.
whether that means fuel, it means hydration, it means salt tablets, you name it, you have to be prepared. And that
Right.
comes in with training too, because when you're training, you're testing all of that stuff out.
Yep.
I think maybe I had seen it quickly. Justin, let me know if this is your question or not, but I'm pretty sure Justin had asked, do you eat before? And that's something that you need to figure out on
Right.
your training run and throughout your training plan. Is I personally eat a specific meal before I start running longer distances. And I have certain things that work for my body. I'm sure it's different than works for Kristen. I'm sure it's different than what works for Nate. So it's something that you really have to test out when you're in the training process.
Yeah. I wanted to say something real quick because when she was talking about it being hot outside and trying to decide whether or not like my first run would be like the wine and dine. The reason I went with that is because of the time of the year. And that's why I really wanted to do the Walt Disney World Marathon in January. So like as it gets to spring and summer, I'm like, wow, I really need to get things like better because I know it's going to be a little bit different when it's hot out. And when I started like running, I did it, indoors on treadmills and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know how I'll, react to that. And I just recently started running like outdoors, but it's still cold out. So I don't even know what to, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, oh man, that's like one of the things I really thought about. I'm like, that's like a challenge on itself, running in the heat compared to, the nice cool time of this month and, January and October.
I have to say to that point, well, first I want to say congrats to Growl Guy doing my first Run Disney race next month, the marathon time. Congratulations. That's amazing. So for me, I have to say, based on that day that I did the full marathon, and then when I did the virtual full marathon last year, my time was about 45 minutes different from my last marathon or from my first marathon to the second one that I did, just based on the temperature, because it was so incredibly hot in Walt Disney World that day. But typically in January, it's not that hot. So I would say if you're aiming for some of the cooler run times, try for or Wine and Dine, Marathon Weekend, or Princess, because typically that's in like the fall winter time. And so it should be a little bit cooler as opposed to say April when they're doing, where in the past they've done Star Wars and they now are doing the springtime surprise. Yeah. So I also saw a question from Andy J. How do you train for the humidity when you live in a dry climate? You just gotta, I feel like, train with what you got and just test things out. I mean, it's really hard to train with the humidity, but
one thing I want to say about the whole training thing and paces. I saw a couple comments pop up. I'm terrified of the balloon ladies, which brought up the whole pace thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But just to quote our beloved Jeff Galloway, we love him. We love him dearly. He is the reason that we are able to do the things that we can do. I'm reading. Here I'm showing you. I'm reading from his. so Run Disney, the Run Disney website, if you go up to the very top, it'll say like training, and then right underneath that, it'll say training plans. And it's got all these different training plans for all the varying distances. But in the beginning kind of blurb of this one that I just happened to pull up, it's the 10K training plan. It says that you need to slow your pace down by 30 seconds per mile for every 5-degree temperature increase above 60 degrees on long runs. Meaning, if you run at a certain pace when it's cold, okay, don't expect that you're going to run that same pace when it's warm. If you do, you're going to go through all of your like stored nutrients and your energy twice as fast. So that's very important, because that also that'll give you a better gauge of, okay, well, I think I could run when it's cold, I can run a half marathon in 2.5 hours. But when it's 90 degrees outside, like it was marathon weekend, then I probably will do that in 3 hours or more. So if you're training in a warmer climate, yes, keep a watch on your pace, but don't get down on yourself when your pace starts to increase as the months warm. And then vice versa. Like right now, my paces are a lot faster than they are in the summer because it's cool outside.
Yeah.
So just my 2 rusty pennies worth of a comment.
No, that's a really great point too, because it's not something that a lot of people think about. And I also want to say too, that when we're talking about pacing, you just have to keep up with the 16-minute mile pacing requirement from the Balloon Ladies. For a lot of people actually don't know who the Balloon Ladies are, but the Balloon Ladies are they're not in the 5K. So if you're ever doing a 5K, do not even worry about them. Yeah. They are a part of the 10K, the half marathon, and the full marathon, but they are the last people to cross the starting line. So they maintain the 16-minute mile pace, and they will have balloons. They light up.
Yes.
You'll see them.
Hence how they got their name.
Yeah. So you just have to be in front of them. And so that's the pace that you really have to maintain. Also, to Kristen's point, a lot of people that I know who are a little bit more experienced runners will do much, much shorter intervals. So even if you're doing 10 seconds of running, 10 seconds of walking, on and off, like whatever you're training at, cut it. Like you got to do shorter intervals, because that'll help your body so much more. And also, like, just knowing in your training what your body feels like, it's really being in tune with your body and being mindful. Because I think your body is going to let you know when you need to slow down, when you need to hydrate, when you need to do all of this stuff. And all of that Jeff Galloway information is all free on the Run Disney website. They have training plans for free for every race, for 5Ks, 10Ks, half, full marathon, all the challenges. So it's all free, which I think is
Meg,
really
what interval do you run?
It depends on the race. Yeah.
Welcome to my world. Yes.
Right. I know. When I was doing it with my mom, we were doing much, much different intervals than I normally do, but I'm still so proud of her. We ended up doing about like 14 to 14.5 minute miles. And I think I was really proud of her.
Yeah.
She's not a runner. But now
Which I think, again,
I was so happy
proof.
When she finished too. Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, that's proof that anybody can do this. I mean, go watch Meg's, race videos, watch mine, check out Nate's too. And you'll see every shape of person is out there, even on the marathon course. Like, that blew my mind when I was out there on that marathon course, being like, oh my gosh, anybody really can do this. You have to train for it, but you can do it. There's no reason that you can't.
You could do 5 seconds of running, a minute walking. As long as you're keeping up with the pace, you could walk the entire thing. There's people that do that.
I'll walk it.
When I did my when I decided to sign up to the thing, like I said, I was nervous about it, and I signed up. And before I even told, I think I even told Meg, I decided to just go, do like a 5K, and I haven't ran on the treadmill or outside a long time, a couple of years for a long time. And I was like, it was a while. It was like 48 minutes. And that was me like really getting out of wind and not really in shape at all. And I remember like doing that. I'm like, well, I'm really close to the 16-minute. So I'm like, if I just keep on doing this for like the next, I think it was 2 months or a month, like before it. And that's when I told Meg, and I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm sure I'll get better. And I kept on like sending Meg like all like, I mean, differently. Like I kept on sending her videos of like my progress and stuff like
I
that.
loved it though.
I know it was fun. I mean, it's and I'm glad it was only like I was basically just talking to you about it, showing it, and I got there and I was like, oh, okay, there's no balloon ladies, and like it kind of like sunk into my head, but like the fear of the balloon ladies or the fear of that time pace really did me good and did better because it only made me actually like it more and get more like invested in it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
anybody could do it.
I feel like it adds like a little bit of a competitive edge of like, okay, I just gotta beat these people. And before we move on to another topic, I do want to say that I don't know if anyone else who's run a Run Disney race has experienced this as well, but at some point I felt like this sense of shame that I wasn't running the whole thing. And there were people there that have done like thousands of races, and it was just like my first race, and I was really nervous too. I feel like anyone doing their first race is really nervous, but please don't ever feel shame or embarrassed that you're doing a certain pace, because you're doing it, and that is the goal. That is amazing. I run for completion. I don't even care what time I finish in. It's just the fact that you're doing it, which is so amazing, and that you started. And I think that's truly so inspiring. So don't ever like, I was like, oh my gosh, people are running so much faster than me. Like, don't get in your head.
That's what you were doing for me though, Meg. You were giving me such confidence about it because I remember I kept on like just like training going into it. I kept on like saying like, oh, look I got this far. I'm doing this and everything like that. And you were like, oh, that's great. But you know, it's
crushing
okay. It. I was. And that's the difference too. It's something I learned. I was just so like nervous that I was really like just kind of going like, not like any like formal training, just like putting myself like through the tenderness of doing it, and I really didn't need to, but you kept on giving me like that feedback. No, oh, that's great, but you know.
I was like, you can just like, you don't have to go so hard, but if you want to, that's amazing. Like, you are crushing it. Yes, you are way ahead of the people sitting on the couch. Doing nothing.
That's you the most,
you like the fact that you got up and you tried and you did it is what's so admirable.
And honestly, I think that's the hardest thing to do, really. Like, because I mean, honestly, most people are just thinking energy, motivation, stuff like that, and just dedicating it to just, you know, going, running, and exercising and stuff like that. And honestly, I'll be frank, it's not something that I really was kind of focusing on. And, you know, now even I'm still doing it at least once, twice a week, going right to the gym, running on it. And I haven't, you know, thought about like, the fact that I didn't do it before and why not? You know what I mean?
No, it was one of those. So running was one of those things that I'm sure a lot of y'all can identify with this. I used to fake being sick in middle school to get out of running the mile. Okay. And now I pay Disney a lot of money to run. So that, you know, I've come full circle. But I think what's important is giving yourself an out, because like when I started, I was coming from that space of this was torture in middle school and high school, or even if you were like in track in college, like this was torturous. Why on earth would I want to go do this volitionally? Why? So I gave myself an out. I said, okay, if at 6 weeks, and I started Galloway, and I'm a firm believer in Galloway. There are other methods to running, but Galloway, when you find what works for you, don't fix what ain't broke, right? But give yourself an out. So I said, okay, if it's 6 weeks, that was my like time frame. If it's 6 weeks, I'm miserable and I don't like this anymore, then I'm going to quit. And I can quit knowing that I gave it a good chunk of time, not just a day. You can't judge your whole running experience on a run or two. You've got to give it, you know, some time. And then here I am, what now, you know, almost 4 years later, and I'm still doing it. So my 6 week like time thing is long gone. But so I would just, if you don't think you can do it, just try it and give yourself a time frame, and then give yourself an out. To where if you don't like it, that's great. But then you can still be like, you know what, I gave that a half decent shot, and I am proud of myself for sticking with it for however long, but it's not for me. So I'm going to find something different. So
I like how you say like that fact that like that's the same way I was. I was like, I don't want to run. I don't want to run. Like,
Why would I want to do
honestly,
that?
yeah, that's what I mean. And then I didn't even do a Run Disney run actually. It's just the fact that I knew I was going to be doing the wine and dine. It made me like more excited to do it. And then once I did it, I was like
Yeah.
more happy about doing it. So
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's more or less as long as it gets you the motivation to get up and start doing
Yes.
it, then that's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah,
And that's
I
and that's
think
why I love it, because it did it. And it gave me like a happy reason to get up and run instead of like, I don't want to run. Like it gave me a reason to be happy about doing it.
so. I want to touch upon a couple things that you guys talked about. One, Disney makes running fun. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yes.
as Pixie Dust Run just said, I run for the bling. I run for those pictures in front of the castle with my medals. That's what inspires me. I also say you got to run for something bigger than yourself. You got to
Yeah.
have a motivation. I have something that keeps me running. It's my inspiration. It's why I keep doing more races. And I have to say too, Kristen, I know that you're not the biggest fan of the virtual races, but people are like, why do you sign up for them? They're so expensive. Well, just as Nate said, it's something that helps keep me motivated, especially in the winter months where it's so dark. You don't want to move. For anyone that struggles with seasonal affective disorder or any, thing in the winter where you just don't want to get up and do anything, having these races like in January for Marathon Weekend or in February for Princess Weekend, it helps you to get up and move. And whether that's in person or virtually, which I know Jeanette made a really good point about too, it's just a way to get moving. And if that's what's important to you, like it's really important to me, I like signing up for them. And Jeanette pointed out that the virtual races don't actually have a time limit. So if you want to try and do one of these distances and there's no time limit, the virtual races are for you. It's kind of like dipping your toes into the water of the long distance running world. I feel like they're very, very beginner friendly. And they're still a lot of fun to do, but you're not meeting as many characters. And Justin, I do remember your question. Justin's question was, what was your favorite character meet and greet that you did during a Run Disney race? So Kristen, let's start with you.
Oh, goodness. You have to make me think. Oh, Hades from Wine and Dine.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was dressed as Hades and I met Hades.
Yep.
Followed closely, I would have to call it tied. Right before you got into Animal Kingdom, there was it was right as the sun was coming up, and it was Pain and Panic. And I was dressed as Hades. And they, oh my gosh, like they recognize
that sounds
that.
so awesome.
And they it's all in my half marathon video. But the even the I call him a handler, like the attendant, I guess the Disney attendant. You can hear her in my video go, "They're worms, nothing but worms." In cue, they both start going like this, and then I start going, "Memo, name you after my meeting," and they're all like, "Ah!" Like it was perfection.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd have to say that's probably my favorite that I've done. The character.
I wanted to stop so badly for that one, but my mom, just as everyone was saying, she was terrified of the balloon ladies. It was her first Run Disney race. So I said, I'm going to give up my dream meet and greet for Pain and Panic to help my mom feel better. And so
you did the right thing though.
The line was so long. And I had actually gotten to meet Hades the day before in the 10K. So
and he wasn't out when we went by there for the 10K.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he had like no line. Oh, so I was very lucky. There. So I skipped Hades on for the half marathon as well. But Pain and Panic, oh boy, I got like a side selfie with them. It was amazing.
Yes.
Definitely, like for people that are new to the Run Disney world, they bring out super, super rare characters. And that's part of the reason why I want to run too. So, and this event in November, the Wine and Dine was all villains themed. So they only had villains, which is my favorite. So
we got rained out on a lot of the villains.
Yep.
But that's why I'm happy that we got to go to the party afterwards where we got to see a lot of the villains that weren't there for the rain. So that was really fun, at least.
So Nate, out of all the characters, I'm going to include the after party too, because there were some individuals or characters from the after party that were also in the races. Out of your 5K experience and the after party, which one did you like the best?
Oogie Boogie's always up there with me. Or,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I like seeing Corella DeVille. Corella was there, so that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or the witch,
Oh, yeah. The old hag.
the old hag. The old hag.
Hi,
yeah.
Walt and Melissa. Guys, Walt and Melissa also did their first 10K in the Wine and Dine weekend. So congratulations to you guys. BB and Beyond, welcome. If you do meet if you do the meet and greets during the longer marathons, do you risk being scooped by balloon ladies? Yes.
Yes.
It is
Yes,
part
yes.
of your time. So
Yes. Yes.
account for that. Like, so I have to say, probably one of my favorite character meet and greets that I have done thus far is Oogie Boogie. I probably waited about in between 12 and 15 minutes for him. So that was a part of my time.
Which, if you think about it, that is some people's mile pace.
Yep.
So you're spending that time standing still where some people are already a mile or more ahead of you. So just to put that in
That's a
perspective,
good point to put
to
out
answer
there,
that
yeah.
question, like you have to, I had a follower or subscriber on my channel asked the question, like, well, if I personally fall under that 16-minute pace because I'm in line for the characters, does somebody come get me off the course? And I'm like, no, it's only if the balloon ladies come past you, if you fall behind them at any point. So you need to factor that in when you're stopping for characters, which is why a lot of us, myself included, will tell you in between the characters, try to keep up with your intervals as best as possible, because the more you run, the more of a buffer you're building between you and the balloon ladies, which is then going to buy you more time to do things like stop for characters and castle jump shots, for Princess and Marathon. Castle jump shots.
I also want to say too, if you are a faster runner and can put in submit a proof of time, then you get the additional buffer.
Correct.
For me, I'm not sure what you guys were in for this race weekend. I was fairly honest in responding to the question of what my pace was going to be because I was with my mom. And so I was put in the last corral for the races, which is fine for me. I knew that I would finish. But I passed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that was ridiculous to me. But just know for people, oh, hey, Adam White, welcome. Just know that if you are in a higher corral, that does give you extra buffer time. So if you are in the front, that's why it's always like a fight to get to the front of the corrals too.
Yes.
People will wait there for an hour and a half plus. Whenever they open the corrals for the races, people go and they start to line up. But just know if you're one corral ahead, you're at least a good 15, 20 minutes already ahead of the balloon ladies. And that's not even with your pace.
Correct.
So if you run hard and finish first, can you go back and meet the characters? No. Nope, it doesn't work that way.
Nope. Once you cross the finish line, you're not allowed back onto the course. So, yeah.
That'd be a fun thing to do.
I was reading, just happened to glance over, and Teresa, my running buddy, she said, Kristen, tell them about our character plan. So when we first started, we had the same fear of God that Nate did about the balloon ladies. We were like, we're terrified. They're not scary, I promise. I say that now. From the other side, they're not scary. But we decided, okay, this is our plan. So if you have a plan like this, then it'll help you figure out who you're going to stop for. So we had always said, if it's the character that we're dressed as, we're stopping. So like Hades for me on that Sunday for the half. We each had a non-negotiable character. So again, for me, that would be Pluto. I love Pluto. He's my favorite. There he is. So Pluto dressed as anything, we're stopping. For her, it's Maleficent. If it's, any criteria that you can think of that you want to, obviously don't make it to where every character meets that criteria. But if you go into it knowing like, okay, these are my non-negotiables, the rest of them you can just, run by, snap. Like I think Meg, you mentioned that you did it with Pain and Panic. Snap a quick little selfie as you kind of get past them, and go about your, on your merry way. That's a strategy that we have found really helpful, especially during the marathon. That was very helpful in the marathon.
I have also done, especially what I did with my mom, if you have someone that's a little bit faster and you start to, you could see the character meets from a little bit ways away because you could see
Yeah.
the lines forming, I would say, look, I see a character up there. I'm going to run up, get in line. You go see who the character is. You come back to me. If it's a character that we really, really want, or if it had a really short line, I would just get in line anyway. But it would cut, a good quarter of a mile where I would just run directly to the character stop. She'd come meet me in line. We'd snap a really quick picture, and then we would be off on our way. Similar to Kristen, I have always said, if this character is in the race somewhere along the course, I am stopping. For me, that was Oogie Boogie. I knew that if any point Oogie Boogie was on the course for any race, I was going to stop. If that meant I had to run the entire rest of the race, I was still going to stop. And I see that we're getting really close to running out of time, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time, but I feel like we're going to have to do a part 2 of
Wow,
this.
it's been an hour?
It's been an hour already?
Yeah. I see a really quick question, Disney Nerd. What does that mean? So do they tell you what corral you go in, or is it free for all? So they do put you into corrals based on the times that either you submit from a legitimate race. So if you believe that you're going to run the race, or if you have a time underneath or below 2 hours for the half marathon, then you can submit a proof of time, which is a fairly fast pace. I will never run a 2-hour half marathon. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Me either.
I will never. So I never again will I submit a proof of time. I have in the past, and I have been placed multiple corrals up based on my time. Disney will look at your pacing and how you think that you're going to pace. And please be honest, because the corrals are for safety. They're for runner safety. They're not just so that you can get ahead of the balloon ladies. So please be honest.
Yeah.
Based on your time, you'll be placed into a corral. And then also, I'm pretty sure you asked about, do you recommend a brand of shoes? To that point, I would suggest you go to your local running store to get fitted, and they will help you. I personally run in Brooks.
Same.
A lot of people run in other things, but you really have to go and get your foot fitted for a proper shoe so they can look at your gait, the way that you place your foot when you strike the ground. And Neville Landing wants to know, are you running in marathon weekend? I personally am doing the virtual Dopey challenge because I can't make it down. But Kristen, I know that you had some maybe plans.
Why did the virtuals sell out?
It's a gateway drug. Let's get real. No, it's so the races are sold out right now. And I'm having major FOMO about not being there. But let me tell you this. So if in the event that you want to get into this, and Meg cut me off if we're gonna go over time.
No, that's okay. Go over. I just want to be respectful of your time as my guest.
Oh no, I'm good. Anyway, if you find yourself very interested, and if you're local, and even if you were planning a trip and it's going to fall during that time, go spectate the half marathon and the full marathon. Meaning you can, if it's before park open, you can get into Magic Kingdom all the way up to at least the founder statue, and they will let you in without a ticket. Don't worry. And you can watch people running through, and there is nothing more special than that. So if you have decided, I want to do that, but everything is sold out, then spectate and cheer on people. And I mean, I will tell you, coming through, Meg, you can speak to this World Showcase at the very end of the marathon.
Yeah.
People were shouting our names, not because they knew us, but because they were written on our bibs, like where people could read it. And it was just strangers, go Kristen, you're almost there. Go Teresa, you're almost there. Go Meg, you're literally outside and around a corner and you're done. I cannot tell you how much that meant to me as a runner, and my fellow runners as well, just to, get cheered on like that. So don't get discouraged if the race is sold out. Go and be a spectator. We spectated the 10K for Princess in 20. I have not had that much fun in a really, really long time. So
I'm gonna quickly touch upon that too, because even like hearing you talk about it makes me slightly emotional, and just thinking to my own experience of part of I was a spectator for the 2019 full marathon, and I was in Epcot that day cheering people on, and that's part of what motivated me to want to run.
Yeah.
I had done 5Ks for a lot of my life, and that was pretty much the only distance I had done. And seeing the amount of people finish this race with so much pride, I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And to then be on and I have this in my marathon video. And just thinking about it makes me want to cry. But like being on the other side then and seeing people cheer you on as
Yep.
you're running in that last mile. And
Yep.
if anyone has ever done a marathon, that last mile is like, boy, I just got to get to the end. And when it was 90 degrees out, I was like,
Yeah.
I am so done. But to have people there along the course, literally the entire course cheering you on, that's what motivates you to run.
Yeah.
I can't.
That was one of my favorite things about when I was doing it, was just seeing people cheer on people. Who,
Yeah.
what was it? It was actually when I first met you. You were dressed up in the apple, and it was
Yes.
Kelsey's crew.
Yeah. Kelsey's Hope. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were like so awesome cheering on people. I forget the girl, Ashlyn's name.
Ashlyn,
That's it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
even when we were coming in, just seeing people like happy cheering on, I was like, wow, this is really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really like good emotional, like happy feelings, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it is truly indescribable when you are running and you get that support from a stranger, as you said, Kristen. It's just like
Mhm.
that's what Disney is all about. The magic
Yeah.
vibes. It's about being there for each other, supporting other people. That's what Run Disney is all about. And I
Yep.
feel like that's a really good place to end for right now, because we've already hit an hour, and like I can't believe it's already been an hour, because I could talk about this literally forever. So if you guys are willing, I would love to do a part 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's still so much
There is.
that we haven't talked about. Like,
There is.
we didn't talk about how COVID changed things, Club Run Disney.
Oh,
we kind
Lord.
of talked about
Yeah.
the Jeff Galloway thing, kind of about the challenges, but I feel like there's so much to unpack about Run Disney that we could talk about it forever. But as I said, I want to do and be respectful of everyone's time, and for everyone that's watching. I know there are so many people too in the chat that have been inspired this year to do the virtual runs. Yes, please,
Yeah.
part 2, 3, 4. Listen, I feel like same with pins. I could talk about Run Disney all day, every day, anytime someone asks me about it.
Yes. Same.
If you guys
That's
have
awesome.
any questions going forward, whether that be for Nate and Kristen or myself, just think about questions that you might want to have answered come the next stream, just because we do have so many different experiences here in these boxes. And I want to say a huge congratulations to Nate again for completing his first race.
Yes.
It's such a huge, huge accomplishment, Nate.
Yeah. I'm just happy to like be running and being happy about running. Like happy
Yeah.
to do something, and I'm happy that Run Disney gave me that. You know what I mean?
I think it's really important that like we touch upon that, because I think a lot of times people have this really negative association with working out.
Yeah.
It's such a hassle. It takes so much energy. And
Yeah,
when
but
you
if you
have
can change it to make it like something happy that you want to do, that's what I mean. That's what it did for me. But you're right. Yes.
100%. I feel like if you just change that association of, running is horrible to running can really be fun. And you don't have to run the entire thing. I still
No.
struggle with calling myself a runner after doing 4 full marathons and 9 half marathons. I'm like, I'm not a runner, but
No,
you're
you
just
are.
like,
You are.
you're a runner
Yeah.
when you finish a race, whether it be a 5K, a 10K, a half, a full marathon, an ultra marathon. You are doing this, and that is amazing. Everyone's cheering you on, Nate. It's pretty awesome.
Hey,
I was
Nate,
laughing because
Nate,
when you
what
said
was
that, I just thought of that song. Is like, she's a runner, she's a track star. I'm like, you're a runner? You're a track star?
Nate, what was your favorite part of your first Run Disney race? Like what do you look
people.
back on and you're like, man, that made it for me?
Yeah, the people.
Yeah.
Like the other people, like just I guess you would say the Run Disney community, really. I mean, honestly, just the people there waking up early in the morning, the
And are
anticipation,
happy about it.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
everyone just all happy and excited. I think it's the same thing of why I like Disney and a lot of places. You like going to places where everybody's happy. I feel like it's contagious, and I like the
Yeah.
feeling that I had that morning, and when I liked the feeling when we got done with the race, and like I said, I was
Yeah.
already just like I need to get another one. I need to do it. I need to
Yeah.
do it.
Imagine
Yeah.
if it wasn't raining too. Like how
That's what I mean.
Oh, it
Even
would
if it
have
was
been
better.
rainy,
it would have
I
been
was
even
still like
better.
the people drenched us, soaking wet. Everybody's soaking wet. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is
And then you have
amazing.
people that dressed up like poison apples, which was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Guys, please go check out Kristen's video from this run weekend and all of the photos on Instagram, because Jeanette said, okay, done. Signed
I'm
up for the
pulling it
Princess Half
up.
Marathon virtual in February. I love
So
it.
did I think I told y'all, I don't know if you'd be able to see it off of here. We were poison apples.
Hold on. Let
Yeah.
me make it big. Yeah, please go check out Kristen's Instagram. So many amazing running pictures, but also just really amazingly positive photos, beautiful photos.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you
One
guys.
thing that was funny about that apple costume though, and Teresa can attest this. So when we first got out of the bus, we were like extra plump looking apples,
Yeah.
like real, fat and sassy is what we said we were. And as it
Fat and
rained,
sassy.
all of the water like sunk to the bottom of it, so we looked like a shriveled up red balloon by the time it was over. And so and because it was like 100% polyester, like that sucker was retaining every ounce of water. But when we got back to the room and we were like taking the apples off, I looked at the front of her legs and she looked at the front of mine, and we were like, why are you bleeding? And we weren't. It was the red dye from
Oh
the
my
apple had
Lord.
like come down the front of our legs, like the things you do for Run Disney, like the things that you do. So
Yeah. 100%. And actually, that was the first time that I had ever met Kristen in person. And Nate, you met Kristen as well.
Yeah.
So it was just really, it's so exciting to get to meet Run Disney
It was
friends.
the apple. It was the apple outfit. I was like, oh wow,
Yes,
look at these people.
I was like,
Oh,
Kristen?
wow, this is nice. Yeah,
well,
that's
Meg,
yeah.
actually, we that was the second time that we had met because
Yes. I
because
ran
it was
into
during the
you
marathon. Yes, it was during the marathon. During
I
that.
remember Heather was running with you too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I watch these people on YouTube. They're so inspiring. And I was like, I just want to say hi. Like, I'm not weird or anything. But
no, but see, I love that. I love when people say hi. I'm sure y'all are the same way. Like, it thrills my heart to know that somebody somewhere out there is watching and likes what I do. So no, that was but that was the first time we really got to like talk.
Right.
Was that morning.
Yep.
So when I was dressed as
And
a
look at
giant
us now.
apple.
Here we are.
I know, right?
And look at us now. Yes.
Yeah, totally. So I feel like we'll have to come back and do a part 2. Yes, you can technically do the virtual runs. Any date. I said this, we're also a part of a Discord chat. Some races are very specific. So like for the New York City virtual marathon or the Boston virtual marathon, you had to do it within a certain amount of days, within a certain date range. You also had to use a specific app to track your run. For Run Disney, none of that is required. You can run it at any time. As long as you pay for it, they're going to send you the medal. But
exactly.
I would say, why would I want to get a medal that I didn't earn? So you guys gotta run to earn your medals, but you can do it at any point. So if you are having surgery and then you could do it in February, that's totally okay too. Whatever works for you. But we're definitely going to have to come back and do another part 2 because I feel like there's just so much that we can talk about for running.
Yes.
But Kristen, before we go, do you have anything coming up? I'm going to make you big on the screen. Do you have anything coming up on your channel that you want to talk about or anything exciting besides the races that you've already posted?
Yeah, I just posted the half marathon. Actually just posted my merch haul, both Run Disney and general Disney merchandise, which, we're all guilty of this. We come home with way more than we anticipated.
Oh yeah.
Apparently I'm a pin collector now. Go figure.
Good.
I keep deep diving into these different Disney communities and not coming up for air. So there you go. I've got other Disney content coming up. including a visit to Cinderella's Royal Table. I did a Genie Plus experiment at Animal Kingdom, which is historically not my favorite park. I kind of gave it the task of, can you make me have a good day at the park that I like the least? If I was to rank the parks, Animal Kingdom ranks number 5. I rank it below Disney Springs because I feel like that is a theme park in and of itself. I mean,
Wow.
It's got rides.
I feel like
Right?
you're gonna make people in the chat
Yeah.
angry.
No. I will leave
It does
the
have
video.
rides at Disney Springs. I have done the rides. Yes.
See, it's got rides and food, and you can take a Disney transportation bus to it. Therefore, it is a theme park. So,
Yes.
But no, I'll leave the mystery of if I had a great day to that video. So,
Cliffhanger.
and then more cliffhanger. I'm gonna keep you hanging on by your fingernails.
Jeanette said, "Oh, I'll post her channel anyway." Guys, please, there's so many different links here in this chat. There's videos that Jeanette has been posting. Jeanette, thank you so much for
Thank you.
half marathon weekend, the expos, the 10K. Oh, Christina, you are the best. And then also to Kristen's channel. Kristen, thank you so much for being on here and sharing. I'm telling Joe Rody.
I just saw that. Y'all don't
much.
discredit me. Don't do that. I just watch. You'll see. But thank you, Meg, for having me on. This was so much fun, and Nate too. And I can't wait for round 2. So
round 2.
Thank you so much. And Nate, what's going on your channel? You have like a bajillion subscribers.
Oh, I'm just doing stuff. I don't know. I don't have anything planned. Something tomorrow, maybe I'll do something.
I have to say, like, Nate is one of the people that I very regularly watch your videos, like, just to keep up with Disney news and stuff, because Nate has, I think, some of the absolute best Disney videos. And you recently did the Candlelight Processional, which I have never seen before.
That was amazing.
Me either.
Yeah. And you did like all the snacks. You've been doing some really amazing videos. Yeah. I'm sure all of you guys in the chat already know Paging Mr. Morrow.
Moana was there. Moana is the one that hosted the Candlelight Processional. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's really her.
Chris says, now I feel like I should go for a run.
I love it. Maybe not at nighttime, though.
Yes. Also, Jeanette just posted, Nate has a video about the post-race party for the Wine and Dine event. They actually included an after party or an after hours event for people that did either the challenge or the half marathon, or you could buy a ticket separately, which was all for Run Disney people, which was so exciting. So that's the video for that.
I know, and I wish I have some footage of me and you running in that too, for the 5K, but it was raining, and I remember I ended up getting water on the lens and in the mic for a lot of it, because I was actually going to make 2 separate videos. That was my initial plan. I wish I had a GoPro. You brought the GoPro. That was smart.
You did.
Yeah, and that's what I run with too.
I showed up with like my regular camera, and like, I'm just holding it, and like it was just very wet.
But you know what? Your footage though is lit better than ours is, because GoPros suck.
Yeah, that's why you need that camera.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't the rain, it would have been perfect, and it was probably just the same. No, maybe like I'd say 3 times the weight of a GoPro.
Yeah. And it was hard to have that during the rain. I see a few more questions. We're definitely going to do a part 2 on this. So if you want to join back for another part 2, I'll let everyone know. I'll keep everyone posted on when we're going to do that. But thank you everyone for being here in the chat. If you have any immediate questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm sure Kristen would be happy to answer any questions. Same with Nate. We are happy to answer any questions that you have immediately. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. For my friends here in the squares, you guys are truly incredible. So inspiring.
Thank you.
I just, for part 2, we'll probably do, I live stream every Monday night at 9. Not sure what time we will, or what day we'll do it yet. But please follow Kristen, Running in Makeup, YouTube, Instagram. Please follow Paging Mr. Morrow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things. By run, I mean a brisk walk, by the way. I love it. So we will be back for a part 2. Think about all your questions for next time. Before we go, I always like to highlight someone in the community just for being extra magical, extra positive. So this week I want to highlight Tony from Phantasmic Chronicles. Tony has been really wonderful in supporting our community and just has been such a light for so many people. And I just want to highlight him. Thank you for being so positive. Thank you for being such an amazing person, an amazing dad, for just sharing so much with us in the community. And I can't thank you enough for all that you do. So thank you guys so much. Please go check out Running and Makeup, Kristen's channel, as well as Instagram, Paging Mr. Morrow. And we will be back for another Run Disney stream at some point. So without further ado, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and we will see you all real soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.